Hello, and welcome to session 4 of Faithful Hedrons. I'm your DM, Chris Nicolay, and Lenatham He. I don't know. I'm
And with
pretty
you
sure
as
I'm
well.
pronouncing.
And also with you.
And with your spirit.
The direct translation means you are welcome here. But let's get back into it. First, starting off by introducing our characters based on how the screen set up. Let's start with Deanna.
What? Who am I? My character?
Who are you?
Who are you?
I am playing Alana, a Triton bard. Yeah. It's been a while since we've done this. I'm like, I don't even remember.
Gotta get them with the spear,
Oh,
and then
yeah.
eventually
I
get them
have
with
a
a trident.
spear, and I would like a trident, and human things are interesting because I'm from under the sea.
Under
Under
the
the
sea.
sea.
Under
Under
the
the
sea.
sea.
That's too much. You're too close to
Too
the.
close. We didn't go. We didn't go over 15 seconds. We're good.
Under the sea.
Oh, now we're over. Darn it. And her hubby, Cameron, and my best friend, Cameron Franklin.
Hello and good luck. I say because I teased Chris earlier, so I'm pretty sure he's gonna kill my character, Shakar, the Minotaur Barbarian. It's gonna make me do some wisdom saves. It's gonna not go well, and then
He's the only aggro we have.
I will re-roll a new character. So it's been fun, everyone.
And then we all get squished because you're the
Yeah.
only one who likes to run in and destroy things.
Squishy.
You're the only real fighter we've got.
And Emma.
Hi, it is I. I thought we were going the other direction. But hi, I'm Emma. I'm playing Fiernan or Fernan, depending on your mood. I am a Dragonborn druid. And I recently, a distant cousin of mine, got to play on a one-off. She likes to talk to seagulls.
Nice to talk to Seagull.
And Vernon likes to talk to blink dogs.
Yes. My cousin likes birds. I like dogs. Just for clarification. Two completely different people.
Character cousin, not her actual cousin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And from the great north, still waiting to be adopted by them, Shanine.
Hi, I play Poppy, a half-elf ranger, and I have a raven friend named Quill.
Quill's really important.
Yes.
And Travis.
Hello, I am Tilgar Blackpaw, the Warlock Tabaxi, and I don't know what's happening.
Understandable. He's about to be traumatized pretty kind of.
My dog also wants to know what's happening.
But when last we left off, so quick summary, our adventurers had found themselves into a mysterious city where appearances being they were perceived as elves. But in further exploration, they did find their way into the catacombs of the city, and with the assistance of Navis Ulastina, or no, not Navis, Yalanue Ulastina,
Zoom tight.
sealed a rift that was causing the phenomenon, or kind of the magic leak. And they have now made their way to the surface, where they find the city now ruins, although a few mysterious structures are still standing. They have been entrusted with a mysterious relic or stone that we're not sure what it does yet. And that is where we left off, with you guys standing in front of the library that you previously entered, but were unable to read any books in.
I mean, have we tried reading books in the new timeline?
We
I
have
know we-
not yet.
No, you have
Okay,
not entered
okay.
the library as of yet.
Okay.
We have not attempted anything yet
Okay.
in this new timeline. Meaning the just current day.
So should we? Should we go in?
I mean, if nothing else, it seems like a long rest would be nice.
Yeah. I second that notion first.
But first, nap.
But first,
First,
But
nap.
first, nap.
Okay.
So with you guys standing in front of the library,
We just sleep.
Well,
Much
bam.
like a pre-release queue, we pitch our tents in front of the door.
as you have seen, for the most part, all the previous structures, you know, with the exception of a library in the Capitol complex, are ruins, whereas the library has been meticulously maintained. But off in the distance, you do notice smoke fire, or smoke from
Smoke fire.
smoke fire. You do notice smoke bellowing through the air, seemingly probably from just general experience. You'd probably know it comes from a chimney.
So it's more on the sooty black side of things.
Yes.
Great.
Not like a major
It's a
fire. It's just,
pillar.
yeah, it's kind of like a
Skinny
pillar,
pillar.
obviously directed.
As a Catholic, my general question is to ask what color the smoke is,
Mhm.
because that's important. But I say we go for it.
And as you kind of make your way in that general direction, Quill does take off and flies directly toward it.
Because Quill's the bad guy.
He was the bad guy.
Oh.
the whole
Bobby,
time.
what have you not told us?
Quill is my BFF.
So
I
Pop is
vouch for
also the
him.
bad guy.
You may be a little sus.
BFF, that's
Eject.
big
No,
feathered food.
guess-
The blink dog's on
we
me.
should
So
follow.
bad.
Should we
Blink
follow?
dogs may or may not exist anymore.
Yep.
We're
I
friends,
guess we
too.
should follow Quill.
Yeah.
Oh, he's seen something.
Yeah, I'm 100% going after my bird.
Seen it.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's follow
Are
the
you
pre-KFC.
rushing after it, or are you just following in a direction?
Like
Casual
jog.
roll.
I mean, how fast is he zooming?
I mean, he doesn't seem to be in a hurry,
Can you
but
carry me?
he does move faster than y'all.
As long as I can keep him in
In sight?
Sight.
Okay. So you guys make your way toward the
Probably.
source of the smoke. As you do move, you do kind of take in more of the city. You do see it has been, the trees are flourishing, and there are several trees that are obviously aged very well. They are massive. You can probably build a home in them.
If you insist, Chris.
I would like to climb one.
Okay.
We gotta find Quill first. Though.
We gotta go after Quill.
Roll
Okay, go after Quill, and then I want to climb one.
Okay. So as you proceed through the forested kind of area, you do come, as you approach kind of the direction of the smoke, you do enter a clearing with a pretty humble tavern noted, and you do see a sign on the gatepost noting Guzzler's Tavern.
Guzzlers?
Or
Guzzler.
Okay, I definitely heard D and I was confused.
Like, that's not a word.
Guzzler's Tavern. And as you approach, you do see that. And so by the way, you do see that Quill has perched himself on the shoulder of a Kenku.
I mean, I
A what?
know, but for anyone who might
Yeah.
not, what's that?
A Kenku is a.
Quill's boyfriend. Oh, Quill's girlfriend. Hey, it can have a boyfriend. Birds can be gay too.
They are the raven humanoids.
Okay.
Oh, he landed next to one.
No,
On his
he's
shoulders.
perched.
These guys
On
but
his
he perched on the
shoulder.
shoulder.
Oh, like a
of one.
parrot, like a
Yes.
pirate parrot. Okay, but twins.
But twins.
What are the chances that Poppy has seen a Kenku before?
Let me consult my map.
We can
It's your character.
do the map.
It is not my world.
No, not likely actually. You
Not your world. You're just living in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Such is life.
Of the group, most likely Shakar would be the only one that has seen a Kenku. Although you
So
probably
that's
would
what I
have
said.
heard of
That's
them.
what
You
I
know
said.
they
I'm-
exist.
Okay.
Although I am not too all unfamiliar with humanoid animals, animal-like humanoid, given that I was raised
Right.
by one.
So I'm not
You
completely
just haven't-
shocked,
You're-
but I'm a
it's-
little
I haven't
unsettled
heard of
to
them,
see
though.
a giant quill.
You
Yeah.
Everyone would have like heard of them. Like they do exist in this world, but based on regional variances and things like that, whether or not you've interacted or seen one in real life is a whole other question.
Yeah.
But yeah, so essentially the Kenku is a shorter raven humanoid, as you do notice that looking at him you get different glimpses of like purples and blues through his feathers
They're iridescent.
in color, but for the most part black, but like depending on how the light hits him you do get those hues.
So, was this tavern here when we were in the past?
No,
Okay, so this isn't something that was like maintained like the library was. This is a new
no, this
structure.
would be the scene is like I mean it does appear older, but definitely not as old as like based on the time frame that of your understanding. It's definitely not that old. It's definitely been around probably for 150 years.
Shakar will turn to the party and say, "Why would they build a tavern in rubble?"
That is
Maybe
good
it's a
question.
point along a travel road.
And yes,
The
looking
rest one.
around, this is like the sole structure in the immediate area.
I mean, it being a traveling road wouldn't make sense, seeing there was a rift
True.
blocking off this entire area for Lord knows how long.
Yeah, and I mean taverns are kind of seem like the thing that would exist by itself here and there, just to welcome in weary travelers with drinks. Should we ask this person something who's
Like they're-
somehow best friends with Quill?
Yes.
Like maybe Quill's mom?
Don't know if that's how it works,
Friend?
but howdy, friend.
So obviously as you approach the tavern, I guess property, because it's more like house-ish. There's a yard and everything, fenced in, but he's kind of around the fence, seemingly communicating with Quill, but he kind of just waves, doesn't say anything, and beckons you to follow him as he walks back toward the tavern and inside.
He's a mime as well as a bird.
I guess we should follow him. He has our bird
Yeah, he
friend.
has Quill. So
Bird friend trusts him.
Yeah, I'm going.
Yeah.
I love that Janine just is like, go. Quill went, I'm going.
He seems like a friend. He looks like a friend.
He looks like a
He looks like my friend.
KFC family meal.
don't tempt Shakar.
So you follow and enter the tavern, and as you enter, it is a basic tavern. You do note, kind of, you you do note that on the walls hang some interesting wall ornaments ranging from unique weapons to portraits of what appear to be royalty. But also as you enter, you do note there are... How many people have you met? There are 6 other patrons at the bar that you'd recognize. You do recognize, well, 5 at the bar, 1 off at a table in the corner. Person you recognize in the corner would be Yalanue. At the bar, you kind of... at the bar, you would recognize Silvar and his crew. And there is a larger table that seems to be laid out for 5. With 5 drinks.
Have we been expected?
I was going to say, sorry, I think that one's taken. We better grab a different one.
But one thing you would note, Tilgar, is that one of your favorite beverages is positioned in front of one of the chairs.
When Chris said basic bar or basic tavern, I was like, all they have is pumpkin spice lattes.
Pumpkin spice lattes.
Yeah.
And chai tea.
That is the drink that's sitting
Pumpkin spice and chai tea.
Please leave your Uggs at the door.
Pretty much it's the standard layout. You do see, so they're on, like, as you enter toward the right, there is a long bar with seating and kind of with a door leading to the kitchen. And then the rest, like the center and left area is set up for seating with various tables and pretty much kegs as stools and kind of general seating like that. But
Well,
So
there are enough seats for us here.
Yeah.
I'd like to awkwardly sit down in a seat.
okay,
I
so
mean, I'm going to sit down in the seat with the beverage that calls to me.
I sit down in it backwards and then somehow turn back around to face the table.
Not sure how chairs work.
Yeah, what is chairs?
Still haven't figured
What are
chairs out
these?
yet.
I'm still new to walking.
so as you actually note that there are, like, each beverage seems to be catered to each of you. And I'll go ahead and actually ask you guys to describe what you think that beverage is.
Mine is an orange mocha frappuccino.
Orange mocha frappuccino. Okay.
Mine looks like a blue margarita with extra salt.
Mine's probably going to be some kind of spicy beer.
Thinking just like a mead with a lot of like pine undertones.
Can one make soda in medieval times? What is the consensus on fermentation or carbonization?
I would say so. Like in medieval times, probably not be able to make soda. In D&D lore, I think with magic and everything, they can pretty much do whatever they want. So
But
I think sodas would exist.
But would beer have
Definitely a mojito.
Would beer have been kind of fizzy though?
I feel like a mojito is definitely a Tilgar drink for sure.
It definitely is. I mean, you can make carbonization through fermentation, but it is very arduous.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, like with magic, they can definitely infuse air directly into water, I think, and soda water.
Magic is
would
like
exist.
science.
Yes. So you take your seats in front of the respective drinks as they kind of call to you, and you see the Kenku then head behind the bar, continue to serve, and Quill then flies over to your table.
Does Quill get a drink?
A little
Just a
dish
little
of
water
water.
What
or
would
or
Quill
something.
drink?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's we'll say there's definitely some seed, a tiny little saucer of seeds, and a saucer of water for Quill in the middle of the table.
Please tell me Quill is doing the drinking bird thing.
He just goes back and forth. So Quill
It's not your toy.
picks up a seed and drinks some water. Picks up a seed.
It just goes dead eyes and just start.
Very mechanical movements.
Yeah.
Kanku does the same.
This is the canonical way that they drink them.
But you take your seats, you enjoy your drink. Eventually, they also, food is brought out for the table without mention. Like, you haven't communicated with anyone, but like as you sit and wait, about 5 minutes later, food is brought out for you guys to eat and enjoy.
I must know what kind of food it is. It has to be more tempting than a giant bird and a small bird. So at least appetizer and main course.
They bring me some like dried seaweed.
So they bring out some like grilled lake trout.
Ooh.
There's assorted steamed vegetables from the area and some heavier meats like ham and bacon.
Sounds good to me.
And Shakar is all in for bacon.
Is that technically not cannibalism?
How far removed are
He-
hogs from bulls?
They're pretty far removed.
I mean, I feel like
Yeah.
very far removed.
Yeah.
I guess
They're
they're
both
live.
farm animals.
Makes sense. I'm just thinking livestock. All
Yeah.
livestock looks
Yeah.
the same. to
If
me.
it was beef, it would be different. But
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be a herbivore though? Are minotaurs for herbivores?
are they?
But they're part cow. The top of them is a bull.
And the bottom half is not.
But they're human.
But that's not the part they eat.
But the
the stomach
stomach
is-
is the one that digests.
stomach decides.
Those are the real
I'm
questions.
just over here eating some ham while this whole debate goes on.
I look at the fish like my freshwater brethren. These evil people. No,
You savages.
we probably ate the fish. We have a specific fish that we farm.
It's kind of messed up if you break it down. Some fish are friends, some fish are feast.
I mean, sharks eat fish too.
The
They're
debate
fish
of
eat fish.
food in D&D. It's
Yeah.
like
These are the real questions people want to answer.
Yeah.
things that are not
Minotaurs
included
are
in the
herbivores.
general race descriptions of D&D
Are you an
are
omnivore?
there
Are you an herbivore? What do you eat?
are dietary restrictions and thereof.
It's like, I need to
Yeah.
speak to the chef. I'm allergic. This will not digest correctly. Anyway, we have sustenance, and now we're like, what the heck's going on with this place? Why are we here?
Like they
Because we followed a bird.
Yeah. Shakar has some orange mocha frap in his face fur.
Face
Snout.
just foam just all around.
Apparently, minotaurs are carnivores, according to the wiki.
The Forgotten Realms.
I
of
mean,
Rick
like I feel like, minotaurs
Especially
and
humans.
labyrinths, like that's what they eat. Like the
gotta do
people
what you
that
gotta
wander
do.
into their labyrinth are their food.
So you don't
That's-
like fish, so we can be friends. I'm not human. Anyway.
I don't think any of us are. I mean, we've got a half elf, but that's the closest thing to a human.
She only smells slightly delicious.
She's only half tempting.
Anyway. Sorry for the distraction. Moving on.
As you do partake, it is noted, Silvar approaches your table, and asks, "Do any of you know what is going on? We passed out and we awoke in ruins and eventually
So
found
it's-
our ways to this tavern." And
So Silvar is the other one that was with the group that seemed to understand what was going on, right?
yes,
Okay,
Yeah.
just to make sure I remembered. So we found the bad guys. I hit them with my hammer. And then we got a thing. We talked to someone. They said words. And then now we're back here, also in the tavern. That's about it.
To add a little more detail to my friend's very basic summary, there was a rift under the castle,
That's what
apparently,
it was called.
and we fixed it up a little bit with the help of a mysterious elven lady,
The one who said things.
the one who said things.
she's also in the bar, by the way.
I point and say, "That's her. Is yellow."
That's about as much as we know, which may be a little bit more than you know.
We did it, but we don't know.
We don't know what happens next. That's about it.
At kind of the prompting of being like directed to, y'all need to stand and approaches. I understand this all must be very confusing, but to put it simply, your world is connected to many realms, which is how it receives its magic. One of those realms is the world in which I'm from, and all Fae originate. They are connected, and through those connections, when unstable, can cause certain phenomenon. The one you experienced was a time recreation of the last 5 years of the city. Oh man, what'd I name this city?
The big place.
The big place. No.
I live here and I don't remember what it's called.
Oh, Lumeria, and which was originally inhabited by the elves and dwarves you saw, and those were accurate recreations, but as people found their way into the protected area, it began to upset that balance, and the magic was beginning to grow more and more chaotic. Which is why and vice versa on our end in the from our realm also has an effect as more magic was drawn through the rift. Things became dire.
So the rift is like a straw. It was sucking the magic from your place into the other place.
What's a
a straw?
straw?
What is this device you speak of? What is this
You
object
mean
you
like
speak of?
dried up
So,
hay?
so Shakar will immediately go into explaining the physics of how a straw works. Like,
You invented it.
Does
We
anyone
use-
know what this
we
guy's
use
talking
these-
about over
we use
here?
these in my clan to consume orange mocha frappuccinos. It is the optimal food transportation method or liquid
And drink of
transportation method.
minotaurs.
Orange mocha frappuccino.
Man, this guy's a little odd. But he said something that sounded a little smart right there.
What if the only reason you sound dumb is because you're actually just from the so far distant future that you make no sense?
But as now as so I was tasked with passing over, and obviously and I'm able to return, but tasked with passing over to seal the rift and stabilize it, and which is what ultimately also dispelled the strong magic that you were experiencing with experiencing the past form of Lemuria.
See, that's what happened.
But now, yes, now you see as it is in your time. As you've noted, Lemuria is still inhabited. The great library still stands, and although I'd still have to familiarize myself, but I believe there may be other residents now.
The funnel cake man's still there.
We'll sing tales of the funnel cakes.
Yeah.
At that mention, the Kenku does approach with funnel cakes for the table.
Yes.
Carrying on the great tradition.
The best thing that's ever existed.
Yeah.
Funnel.
Are they as good as it's Flintfoot's
That sounds right.
Flintfoots,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
funnel cakes and flapjacks?
Take a bite. It's not the same.
It's not the same.
Still pretty all right though.
Good, but it's not the same.
They are. I would say they are a little different. Just due to the nature of the ingredients having changed, the accessibility to the general, essentially like the wheats and things like that over the millennia have evolved and changed, and so have the flavors a little bit, but they're still delicious.
That's fair. It's pretty hard to screw them up.
Yeah.
Flapjacks, on the other hand.
Very easy to mess up.
Stolen a few that have been pretty bad. So what's next?
So how did this tavern get here? Or why is this tavern here? I asked the Kinku.
He doesn't really respond.
So Shakar proceeds to do the like, I'll just raise my voice. They clearly just didn't hear me.
The Kenku kind of does like the bird tilt of the head.
I think his lack of lips inhibit his speech.
Yes.
And
And
you say bagar.
he what he does is he walks away, kind of toward the back book. You do see there is a bookshelf at the end of the bar, and he returns with a book and puts it in front of Shakar.
Shakar will hand it to Poppy.
Can I read it? What language is it in?
It's an undercommon.
I don't know that one.
Oh my goodness.
Undercommon.
How close to common is that?
Yeah.
A little bit under it. Ayo.
Yeah,
Do I have
it's
to roll something?
like you would recognize it, but you typically reading it, no. As you open it, the Kenku, then he does wave a hand over it, and it does now appear to be in Elvish.
Ooh,
You have to teach me how to do that trick.
I like that.
Fancy. What does it say?
So in general, the book he's handed you is it appears to be like a memoir, kind of, and it tells a story of Guzzler, a Kenku monk who ventured out, and but like as a general summary of what you're like as you pass through, it's a story of a Kenku monk who drank a lot, and following his adventures established a tavern in for the but this tavern is very magical, and it appears in areas where it's needed most.
So it's almost like the traveling bus from Harry Potter.
Room requirement.
What's Harry Potter?
Sorry, I make my
About a
adult
guy with a
connections.
lot of hair and he likes to plant stuff.
Yeah,
It sounds about right.
Yeah.
sounds about right. Yeah.
But yeah, you would have to take the book and actually like read it to fully know what's going on. You do see a portrait in the book, and it does match your barkeep.
Oh, the same.
He's the guzzler.
It's Guzzler. He's
Ask
famous.
him if he'll do the trick. Will you guzzle for us? Go, go, go,
No, 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 no.
He goes behind the bar and grabs his strongest bottle of whiskey, and you watch, and 3 seconds later it's gone.
Nice.
The guzzler.
Sir, you are going to
That's
die.
He's got a liver of steel.
And you also note that he is completely unfazed by it.
Unfazed. So
Give
far.
it 5 minutes.
I give
I've
him a
been there.
solid handshake. Kudos to you, man.
He's fine
Ever
now.
since I read about Guzzler in the book, I've wanted to meet him. And now I've seen this, and it's amazing.
Now I have.
I didn't know 5 minutes ago I wanted to meet this man, and now I have.
Shakar is satisfied with why the tavern is here.
I'm very impressed. It's like
Yeah.
it's like new best friend.
Going to the bar must be so expensive for you.
So,
Why he owns it.
so,
He does own it.
so
What's
for-
your overhead?
For Shakar knowing other Kinku, would he know that they normally couldn't talk? Or is it like a guzzler thing?
So you know that Kenku can talk.
Okay.
They can only, but they don't have their own voices. They communicate through mimicry. Although Guzzler not mimicking any of your voices and communicating with you is uncommon.
Okay.
Like,
It's just terrifying to think that he could speak back to me with my own voice.
Do we want to talk to him? Do we think it would be possible to communicate with him through speak with animals? Either through that spell or through that spell through Quill.
I like this daisy chain.
Spell daisy chain.
We could talk to him normally, but let's not.
It doesn't
Like-
seem to be working.
Let's
he
try through the bird now.
understands.
We think really hard.
He just doesn't necessarily have a way of communicating with you like
He-
directly.
I'm just saying,
Can-
you said
can
he
he
looked like
do-
he was communicating with Quill. So if we want to communicate with him, there's a chance we can do it through Quill.
Can you do like a tapping language, like Morse code?
Morse code.
Yeah.
I'll ask Guzzler if we're safe to stay here for the night. We're safe to stay here and rest.
Oh, so he looks at you, he nods, and he points to the back. You do see a door that leads into a long room, which is just, it's a room of beds. But yeah, there's no privacy. Just a heads up.
I mean, that's not going to bother me none. So
Nah.
I'll make my way with as much leftover food as possible to go eat in a bed.
Arms full of food.
The pure feeling of liberation,
Um,
eating in bed.
Shakar's gonna do some jumping jacks, burn off the caffeine.
In the long room, or just
Just anywhere.
anywhere.
Maybe out front or
Wherever
something.
there's space.
There's plenty of space. The beds are pretty well spread out, like if you do, but there's also the entire yard and
Okay. I'll
everything
go
outside
outside.
the.
I'll
It'll be
go
like
out
an
and
epic
watch
training
and-
montage of
Yeah.
like Shakar like running around the building.
I'll
doing
watch off
jumping
to the
jacks.
side and pick flowers as I watch him just run around the building several hundred times.
All right, but then ultimately, is there anything else you guys want to do before turning in?
Just eat in bed. I'm already where I need to be.
I'm where I need to be.
There's not a place to swim, is there?
It's a
Immediately,
bar. It has a sink.
immediately, no.
Okay.
Yeah, not in the immediate vicinity, unfortunately.
No saltwater pools.
What kind of tavern is this?
A large wash basin.
Wait, let's sleep.
All right.
Long rest. Go. Yes.
So as you go to bed, Cameron, can you just roll me a wisdom check?
Oh,
Straight
come
wisdom check.
on. Rude.
Straight wisdom.
Rude.
Straight wisdom check.
0.
Oh no.
So,
He rolled a 1 and he has a negative
-1.
1.
Okay.
Oh. Oh.
And also Travis or Tilgar, roll
Who's
me a
Travis?
wisdom saving
That guy
check.
sounds
What kind
like
of
a
name
jerk.
is Travis?
All right. Wisdom. I don't think I'm very wise. It's a 9.
It's a 9. Okay. So Tilgar, as he sleeps, does ultimately have a dream. And it appears familiar. And you do see Guzzler in it. You see yourself being brought to this tavern as a cub and left in Guzzler's care. But that is where your dream ends.
If you had rolled, we maybe see baby.
I wake up in a cold sweat. I was raised by food. I knew I shouldn't have eaten before bed.
Shakar, with the last few days, you've and kind of everything that you have been bombarded with, you sleep soundly.
Right, I do. It's because I burned off that caffeine.
You are just out, although you don't dream. It's just like a full reset for you. But when you awake, you feel like your experiences have strengthened you and add a point to your wisdom.
You get to have 0 wisdom.
Nope, it's gonna still
It's
be
still -1 probably, I think, with where it was, but
still -1.
Oh.
But I'm at 9 now.
Oh, that part. I see. I don't know how numbers work in this game.
the rest of you do
Way too many.
sleep through the night, peaceful. Maybe you may have some dreams about like just kind of recaps of everything that's happened, your brain trying to process everything. But you all wake in the morning, fully rested, still with more questions than answers.
We can ask yes or no questions to the mime bird.
The mime bird. Guys, I'm like so smart now. Like you would ask me a question and I'd be like blah 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 and give you the exact right answer.
Wow.
Hey,
good
mister,
for
what's
you.
a straw?
Good for you. I'm so happy for you.
Where to now? We were going to a library, weren't we?
Mhm.
You're like a magic 8-ball. What do we do now? Nothing.
The answer points to no, or the future points to no.
Not enough information. No.
So if are you guys planning on going to the library?
I'm
I
thinking
guess.
so.
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to be near that Kenku anymore. As soon as I start having dreams about people.
So also like pretty much everyone that you are familiar with in this town slept in the long room that last night. So they're all kind of getting up with you as well. And they do look conflicted. Because they're still confused. They're not sure what they're going to do now. It's kind of the general census you get. But as you do exit the long room, you do see Guzzler awaiting you. And he hands you a scroll.
Who's he handed to?
I don't know. He just
Take it.
holds it out to you as the group as
I'll take it.
you go. If you look at it, it's blank. But
Shakar tries to wave.
Guys, I
wave his
can't
hand
read
over
this.
Breathe on it. See if it activates it.
I mean,
I'm gonna breathe on it.
maybe he wants to do a
Hold it
paper
up to the light.
airplane contest.
What's an airplane?
What's an airplane?
so he hands you
paper glider.
he passes you this scroll, and yes, it is blank. But he then turns and kind of resumes his barkeeping duties, preparing for the day.
Did he forget to wave his hand over it?
Shakar says, "I tried, but it didn't work."
I don't know if that's the same thing.
I mean, I have a hand and he has a hand.
Does he?
Does he?
Does he?
Yes, he has hands. he has no wings. So one thing you would from what you saw, he doesn't have wings or anything. He's pretty much a raven head on a very humanoid body, covered in feathers and stuff, but no wings.
That's horrifying.
That is more unsettling than I
Yeah.
previously imagined.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kenku
Post
are
a picture in the
flightless.
Discord.
In the Discord? Okay.
Maybe we should try squirting some lemon juice on it.
They are quite unnerving.
They're my favorite.
I love them.
Trying to find a good one. But it looks like you guys already found some.
Yep.
Yep.
They are something.
On it.
But yeah, they have like so they have hands that they and talons, and standard bird legs. But unfortunately,
Hedrons have large talons. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
unfortunately, no wings.
I mean, that's probably a good thing. Seeing these fly around would be just. My mind couldn't take it. Not sure if it's fear or famine that would cause me to go insane, but it would be a state. All right,
Also-
so let's throw away the blank paper and let's go to the.
I just sort of tuck it away in my sack.
This is
For later.
garbage.
Okay.
At my pocket. Yeah.
All right. So you guys
Is
make.
it- Never mind. I answered my own question.
Okay. So from there, I mean, so Guzzler also serves you guys breakfast.
More bacon.
No meat this morning. Just pastries. Pastries and fruit.
I
Freshly
would like a
baked.
dragon fruit, please.
I love bread.
I love bread. I had never had it till now, and it is my favorite.
It's magical.
It's like we've had bread in where I'm from, but it's not very good.
It's
It's
just
much
soggy.
it's so soggy. Kind of just falls apart.
Always.
It's like the fish, just little pieces of bread, let the carp come and eat. That's all that.
But
It's
you
just little tiny pieces.
Dina's gone.
Give her a couple seconds.
so you take apart you depart from Guzzler's Tavern and make your way in the direction that you originally came from, heading back to the Capitol complex and the ruins of Lumeria, back toward the library. And you get to the library.
Right arm.
I try to walk in.
It is sealed.
I start to get my hammer off my back.
Okay.
There's one way to do this.
Is anyone gonna stop it?
Car smash. How about not?
I
Maybe
start pointing out the hinges as places to hit.
So as you attempt, you notice that you're not actually reaching the door of the library, and glyphs appear in front of the door, like kind of where you have been interacting at that point. And the glyphs highlight saying an offering of knowledge is required for admittance.
I explain straws.
Haunt visit.
A red X appears in
Oh.
glyph form,
Oh.
and you hear, eh.
Not even close.
I explained the process of making a map.
Red X. Eh.
What if it likes the blank piece of the scroll we were
Yeah,
given?
give
I've
him
got a
the
map.
scroll.
I've got a piece of paper.
Mhm.
I hand it to the door.
Wave
Or wave it.
it.
Okay, so as you put up the blank scroll to whatever force is preventing you entry, you do see glyphs and runes begin to ink across the paper.
Can we read it?
What languages do you all speak again?
I mean,
Draconic,
I
Druid.
speak Common, Giant, and Minotaur.
I
Yeah.
speak Common and Primordial.
Draconic, Druid, and Sylvan.
Common and infernal.
Common, Draconic, Elvish, and Sylvan.
What? Four languages.
You're smart. Leave her
As well
alone.
as common.
So I guess ultimately, Tilgar, roll a investigation check for me.
Ooh, it's a shame I can't read anyways.
If you can speak it, you still can't read anything.
I learned to speak infernal because of my dark patron.
Maybe your patron will bless you with the ability to read.
Probably not. You said it was an intelligence
Yes.
or investigation.
Investigation.
Big, massive 2.
Okay. So as the ink appears, you do recognize it as infernal.
Ooh.
But it kind of goes and after the sheet, but it's going so fast and you can't really, you may pick up on characters here and there, but not enough to actually make sense of what it says. But after those runes are complete, the paper ignites.
Nice.
Well,
We need to get another cool piece of paper like that.
I just
You can make
stand
a
there
lot of
holding
money
it in
with
my
it.
hand up to the door.
That was a good paper.
well, that was fun.
And
what?
the barrier falls and the door opens.
Look, guys, someone did it.
Shakar will say, sure is weird that it wanted to know something infernal to open.
How did
That's
you
not
know?
foreboding at all.
Could be a
Let's go in.
coincidence.
Pull the door open. It worked.
I know a guy that speaks this. He's not that bad of a guy, so it can't be that bad.
What's his name?
It's a good question. I'll be sure to ask him next time.
Next time you see him.
But you enter the Great Library, and just as you remember, although like the aesthetic itself has changed a little bit. Instead, though, the entryway seems larger than when you last visited in the front desk, and there is no front desk anymore. But where you do note several Kenku wandering around, kind of maintaining and perusing knowledge. But where the front desk was previously, you now see a Sphinx.
Like,
Must
Guys,
we
why-
answer a riddle?
Yeah, we're gonna get riddles.
All the riddles.
I love riddles. I'm not good at them, but I love them.
Okay, I'm great at riddles.
this is a statue or a live or a sculpture.
All of the above.
Oh,
Of
so
some
it
kind?
would be a sculpture at this point.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's
Oh,
not
okay.
like a living
At
sphinx.
this
It's-
point,
Point.
Please, friendly DM, expand on that.
you perceive a Sphinx statue.
Okay, what's this bad boy made out of?
okay, really get the hammer.
I say, let's go poke it with a stick.
I think it would be like, oh, that's a nice statue.
We're in here for books, though, right?
Why does that lady look like a lion?
What's a lion?
But as you do, so as you approach and further enter, kind of automated, the Sphinx does animate. And responds, "Thank you for your offering of knowledge. All knowledge is welcome.
So excited.
You now have access to our great stores of knowledge.
Shouldn't I ask us for riddles?
Information cannot leave the library."
Great.
So-
So no
Physically?
stealing books.
But
We
what
need
if we
specifics.
gain the
Yeah.
knowledge and we try to leave? Will we be stuck? because it's a concept.
Shakar will say, I can't read anyway, so it's fine.
She said knowledge, not the books. We get the knowledge.
The terrifying
Becomes
part
part of
about
us.
this is just looking at the room is technically new knowledge of an
Yeah.
area we have not seen before. I try and leave.
We
You
also brought it with us.
you successfully
boards.
leave.
I think we're fine. But I'm just gonna leave this open just in case.
Just in case. Like wedge the door open. Just
Yeah.
So yeah, I take my stave and I just kind of like prop the door.
What are we trying to find out from this place? Or are we just investigating
I think it
that
was just
it's here?
It was curious that it was well maintained.
Yeah.
I think is what it's about as far as we've
It
gotten.
has been maintained.
That's exactly the question. Is it the
But
Sphinx?
we can't find out because that's new
No.
knowledge.
Ah!
We'll leave before you learn anything.
This sounds like something I'd only think of after the fact when I get stuck there.
What are we looking for?
I say we all just start.
It was
looking
about the stone, wasn't it?
around.
Yes, Poppy has the stone. From what I remember.
Yes, Poppy does have the. What shape did I say I had?
Think octagonal orb.
Octahedron? Okay.
Yes, that.
I have to remember which one I gave you guys. I should probably note that.
Which stone? So you're saying there's more?
Wrote it down.
Okay, so I guess while we're here, Shakar is going to go continue his quest to find the biggest book.
Okay.
I am going to poke at the statue to see if it responds.
It doesn't. It has given its message initially here.
Start poking it in different places.
Different
expecting
places.
Different response.
You all just watch as Tilgar goes around poking the Sphinx structure that just informed you that information is not to leave the library.
Go for the eyes.
And yeah, it does not respond. It's a stone structure.
Just the statue.
Just continue to poke away at it anyways. I am just baffled by a talking statue.
Shakar takes off and kind of just looking through the massive stacks and areas. Like he finds himself like wandering. He quickly looks. Roll me 3 investigation checks.
Like 3
Shakar.
of us.
Oh, me specifically?
Yep.
What, like he rolls 3 times, or he's one of the 3.
He's rolling 3 times. For
I'm
me.
looking
Oh.
for a big book. 15. 19. Natural 20. 1.
Okay. And 1 survival check.
We got the spectrum there. Mid numbers, perfect numbers, not so perfect numbers.
11.
Okay. So as you enter like the main area of the library, you glance over and immediately you see a large book and you go straight there. As you get there, you immediately see a larger book. And so you veer off and take off toward that book. And then from there, you see an even bigger book. But as you get there, like on your way there, you kind of get lost. And now you're confused.
Oh.
I will yell for help.
Marco.
Are you yelling for your party or just yelling help?
I'm just
Like
yelling
what?
like, I found a book over here. I don't know how to get back.
I found the book.
He's like
and I
one
got
row
lost.
over.
I will send Quill to guide him back.
Okay, so Quill flies kind of over the stacks. Shikari, you catch a glimpse, and you follow Quill back to the entrance of the great room.
I bring the book, just in case it wasn't clear.
Okay, so you have this large book.
Yes.
Do you open it?
Based on the cover, does it look like it would have pictures?
Yes.
I open it.
Okay. Actually, so
Were they scary pictures? Is what you should have asked.
Fair.
the book you open is actually it's a lot of blueprints,
Ooh.
and it's interesting. Like it's blueprints for like mechanical devices that definitely intriguing. Things you haven't actually seen before.
I'll show it to Tilgar.
Yes.
I see.
This is a convoluted way to draw a picture. They could have just drawn it. They don't have to show all this stuff.
But as you peruse, you do see a very interesting looking axe. And it's mostly interesting. It definitely has an axe head, but the handle comes in and curves in toward the back end, and it has a little loop. And a weird piece of metal protruding from the handle.
What's that?
Doesn't look like it would be good for cutting down trees.
No. Maybe flashing through some enemies though.
The car will pick it up.
Not my kind of thing. Wait, the book?
The axe. I'm already holding the book.
Ah,
The blueprint. He wants to look at the blueprint.
Oh, it's the blueprint for it?
It's a blueprint in the book, yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. And it's weird. It's intriguing. You've never seen anything like it. But you want one.
I'd like to take a look at it.
Okay.
At this blueprint of the axe, because I also just want to look at it.
I'll proceed to show the cool axe to everyone, whether they want to look or not.
What else are you guys doing in the library?
I'd like to see if I can find like a nature section.
Okay. I mean, there definitely is a nature section.
I know, but I want to find it.
Okay,
does this
roll
library follow the proper Dewey Decimal System?
roll a perception and survival check for me.
Survival checks are starting to freak me out.
Perception is 16.
Okay, so with your perception check, go ahead and roll your survival. I'll go over that once. But with your perception check, you do note that just similar to the glyphs before, you do see systems above the shelving and that kind of notate different themes and subjects.
Survival is 21.
Survival is 21. All right. So as you wander the library, you definitely find your way. So you're picking up on certain things, but you do find your way to the nature section rather quickly.
I'm gonna grab the book closest to me in the nature section and see if I can read it.
The book. Okay. So you just grab a book, random book off a pile, and yes, you can read it. It this particular book is in common.
Sweet.
And from what you're seeing, like as you are perusing, you do see, but there are books in language in all sorts of languages: common, Sylvan, Elvish, Infernal, Undercommon.
So we've gone
Draconic.
from all old Elvish or whatever to like all languages.
Right.
Cool. I just sort of sit down and start flipping through different nature books, reading and looking at the pretty pictures if I can't read.
Okay. How much time do you spend?
Maybe 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes.
Okay, roll me a single straight intelligence check.
That is 17 plus 2, so 19.
Okay. That's just for my notes. All right, what are the rest of you doing?
What are you doing, Poppy?
I don't know. I guess. Is there like a Fey history section to see if we can find anything out about that orb?
Poppy being the responsible one.
Yeah. Roll a perception check for me.
Nice.
Ooh, 21.
21. All right. So similarly, you quickly pick up on the glyph system for the individual like subjects and things, and you do make your way to the to a very large historical section. Roll a survival check for me.
7.
Okay. And roll a investigation check as our last piece.
8.
An 8. Okay. So it takes you some time. Is anybody with her or going with Poppy? You're still poking the statue?
I'm still poking the statue.
Okay.
I'm watching him poke the statue because I'm curious to see what went.
And Shakar's just looking at pictures now. So Fernan has taken off and is off randomly reading. Do you return after your 15 minutes or?
Sure.
Okay.
I finally realized I should just return. Show back
You
up.
return but at that time, Poppy is already taken off. She's been gone for about half an hour at this point, perusing the historical section. And she takes a moment. She realizes she's a little lost, but continues perusing the books to see if she can find the information she's looking for. Takes you probably another 15-20 minutes before you see a title and language that you recognize that does denote that does have the image of not just the octagon but several other stones, but it is in Sylvan, and so that's what makes you recognize it. And so you pick it up. Or do you pick it up? Okay.
Yes.
I gotta ask. I'm not gonna make you do something you don't want to do. But you pick it up, roll a straight intelligence check.
Nice.
19. Very good. So just perusing, you do pick up on a few different things. You probably spend about an hour reading this, or going through this book, picking up on information though. But you do pick up that there are. Man, why is counting hard?
1, 2, Welcome to Math with Chris.
There are 6 stones denoted
Okay, all
throughout the
different
book.
colors.
And they are all different colors, all different shapes.
They each have a power.
Do they fit on the glove?
No. You recognize yours as the octahedron. But in general, you do pick up, not a ton is known about these stones. You do note that they are tied to different rifts throughout the entire world, or different points, and that they appear to have a sealing power in use.
I have friends that are seals.
I made my
A
stance on
sealing
Prince
power
William.
in use, but
They're like the dogs of the sea.
My puppy.
they are still very mysterious. You do see notes scrawled in different margins of different people positing different theories about them.
Just put here to torture you.
But yeah, and so but you do recognize that each one has a distinct shape. But they are all different kind of hues of orange, purple. I mean, not orange, blue, purple, kind of in that those cool colors, green, different hues, but you do recognize. So there's a tetrahedron, all the way up through a dodecahedron. So those are your 6 shapes. Unless I'm missing one. Pretty sure there's only 6, right? How many dice come in a set?
7.
Can't confirm it is 7.
There's 7 stones.
Nice.
You then turn the page, and there was one on the next page.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just 6 on the front of the book, 1 on the back.
What is my favorite theory about these stones?
So you'll have the pick. So there's a theory that depending on the seal they kind of control, they may posit some additional power over the specific ley lines and magic that comes from the realm that it seals. There are theories that ultimately, when gathered together, they do give an audience with a divine being, and wish may be granted.
Like a dragon?
Yeah, like a dragon.
There are theories scribbled in the margins that these may ultimately contain the soul of a long lost being, or fragments of a soul. There's theories that they are communication devices used between heads of ancient civilizations. And yeah, so what your character's favorite is up to you.
What does Poppy like?
I don't know. Were any of these theories made by a dead man?
How would I know that?
It's in the book.
I
I don't know if they're dead.
I
They
would
wrote
assume-
notes.
I have to know if it's a theory of a dead man.
Dead Man's Theory. The sequel to a Dead Man's Chest.
I know about that. How do you know about that? How did you know about the chess?
How did you know about the chest?
How do you know Davy Jones?
Gotta remember, I come from a family of cartographers, man. We've had our fair share of time at sea.
We don't talk about the crazy neighbor, Davy Jones.
Get off my lawn.
David
Get off my lawn.
Jones.
He's got this like weird locker situation happening. I don't we don't relate to that side of sea people.
Well,
Poppy's liking the Dragon Ball theory. She just came up with that name.
Yeah, because it could be a dragon, and these look kind of like balls. So
Yeah.
it's the Dragon
Dragon
Orb
Ball
theory.
Dragon Hedrons.
Ah. Ooh. Ah,
You said
yee.
part of the name.
But that is kind of the information you get at this time, like with the time that you've
No, we
committed.
got knowledge.
What do you do from here? Oh, you do also, let me say, so with you having spent some of the time, you do posit, like, you do see some theories about where the other, kind of, that, obviously these are spread throughout the world, and you do see, some notes indicating, that at one point, the tetrahedron would have been held by the royal family of Lusitania, which is the surrounding country of the region you're in.
Assuming that's the one we have.
No, the tetrahedron is not. You have the octahedron,
Ah, the other hedron.
the other hedron, the 8-sided one.
I mean, is there a need to find these things?
I mean, I guess we don't know about this yet, but if we assemble them all, and we get to speak with the dragon, and it grants a wish.
I'll wish for the world's most comfortable underwear.
But ultimately, you find your roll one more survival check for me, because you've made you've made your way pretty deep into the main great hall.
Into the unknown.
I'm gonna ask the DM, would my character recognize one of these stones?
19.
You don't know about these yet.
I don't know about these yet. Why? Wait, I missed
Because
something.
Poppy's off by herself.
It's
Yeah.
all
Oh,
just
she's
Poppy
alone. We're
information.
not
She's alone.
together for this.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah,
what was
never
your
mind.
survival check?
19.
19. Yeah, okay. So,
Thought we were all talking to each other. I was like, oh.
having gotten new information and excitement, you do act like you successfully quickly find your way back to the entrance. No problem. And I guess it's up to you what information you do relay to the rest of the party, or
Oh, I tell them everything.
everything.
Nothing.
I found out that the statue doesn't move,
Wow.
except when it wants to. And I also found out this book has funny looking pictures in them that are way too hard.
And there's one of a cool axe.
Based on the description, Alana, your character is skeptical, but might be familiar with the cube,
A cube.
the hexahedron.
Mhm.
The
Or
Tesseract.
wait, no, it's just
Tesseract.
the Tesseract.
I'm actually from space. No kidding. Okay. It's like, I think I've heard of these before, maybe, possibly. Interesting.
Possibly.
Have you met the dragon?
How did you come up with where did the
That's,
dragon
that's
come
what
from?
Poppy told us. The Dragon Ball theory.
But for now, let's go ahead and
I'm like, wait, which part is in the campaign and which is just casual jokes? I don't know what's happening anymore.
The Dragon
It's
Hedron
canon.
is canon.
it's
We
canon.
said it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is canon. I thought we were just dragging out the Dragon Ball Z joke,
No.
and I'm like, what's happening?
I mean, yes, but,
yes, but okay,
We also
Yes,
all
but.
firmly believe in the Dragon Hedrons.
okay. It's like, what's going on? I can't keep track of what's real, what's in the campaign. What
I said.
All the side
there are
quests.
no lines.
Let's go ahead.
What's
We'll take a
going
break
on?
there while you guys, give you guys a chance to kind of decide how you wish to proceed, and we'll come back in about 15 minutes. Hello and welcome back to Faithful Hedrons. Just a quick recap of what we've accomplished so far. So far, they have wandered into Guzzler's Tavern and been provided the piece they needed to enter the Great Library of Lumeria. Poppy has been provided the knowledge of the Hedrons, or as they are referring to them, the Dragon Hedrons.
The Dragon Hedrons,
Um,
which are canon.
having posited that's the most likely theory posed in the book she read. And Shakar has located a book of blueprints with interesting designs. And that is where we are picking up. What are you guys doing?
Well, the thought of these dragon hedrons has piqued my interest, because if a talking sphinx is anything, 7 little items that can summon a mythical beast is something else. And I've never seen a dragon before, and I hear they have lots of loot. So I've piqued my interest in this.
Mhm.
So where are they?
So where are they? You've read the book. Where are they located?
well, one is possibly located in this kingdom that starts with a L, I think.
Lusitania.
Lusitania.
Hey, I know where that is.
Ship to the
Yeah.
Titanic.
The royal family might have it.
Let's go ask them. Can we has this?
Wait. The royal family? They're dead.
No.
No?
This is a
Not that
different
royal
different
family.
royal family.
So you are in
We're in-
Lumeria, which is
Timey-wimey stuff makes my brain not so happy.
Everything gets less confusing when you introduce time travel.
Yeah, facts.
We're gonna. I feel like if we're gonna go talk to some royal families, we're gonna need a good reason to look at their shiny rocks. 'Cause if I know anything, is they really like their shiny rocks and they like to keep them away from the common folk.
So let's bring in the map.
The map.
I'm the map.
Maybe.
I'm the map.
Welcome to Chris, the
Chris is the
weatherman.
map.
I'm the
What's the
map.
forecast? Where are we?
Oh.
What's the forecast?
Maybe? Okay. It doesn't work without the green screen as well. So you're in a city in this mountain range, like here. Maybe. My hand keeps disappearing. It doesn't like it.
Where's your hand, Chris?
Let's get some F's in chat.
So in that upper right corner, you see that little mountain range with several rivers and going through it. That was this zone
So we're on the other side.
Huh?
Yeah, I thought we were on the other side.
Yeah,
Is this
what
mirrored?
they said.
Why does this look weird? What is up with this map? Oh, I'm mirrored. We are on the other side.
We remembered something.
Good job.
So you're in this tiny little mountain range here. Is it working?
Yeah, that's where we are.
That's it.
We're doing it. The surrounding country, though, through this, because this was like an area they weren't able to inhabit, do anything with, due to the strong magical interference that they experienced, and that it was like that for the most part, with obviously the exception of those who have found their way to maintain this library and things like that through other means. But the surrounding country, this northern portion, is Lusitania.
We're already there.
Basically.
So we need to find who
We gotta
currently
find
rules
the-
this place.
Or the capital or the main palace,
Mm-hmm.
whichever one they have.
And then we have to make ourselves interesting. So they'll let us in so we can have their rock.
I grew up in a town that didn't exist, so I have no idea where I'm going.
I'm messing with my picture.
Oh no.
Oh, he's floating.
Held with
There we go.
Chris.
Have a
Oh,
great plan.
why is
We
this so
can throw a festival for the queen
To celebrate
about the
that.
founding.
We just do the same trick every
tactic
time.
all over again.
If it
Same
works,
trick,
it
different
works.
town.
Yeah.
Did this just become Ocean's 11?
Yeah.
Yes.
Got a heist.
But ultimately, as you guys depart from the library with kind of this new knowledge and information, outside of the library, you do find both Yalanue and Silvar waiting for you.
Are they ready to rumble?
Ready to rumble.
I just assumed it was a fight.
Isn't it like
And they touch
Dawn?
Shokar and he immediately dies. Command word die.
Man, we're done.
But they kind of step forward, or Yalanue specifically steps forward and proposes. She's like, I'm sure based on the information you have gathered, you may have your own plans. But having met those currently residing in the area, we have something to ask of you if you would meet with us back at the tavern.
sure?
Is it time for lunch?
Yeah, probably, based on the time it took you to kind of read through and get through, and I don't know. I'm sure Tilgar is hungry after spending an hour plus poking a
Poking
stone
his-
sphinx with a stick or whatever.
Have to get to its inner workings. How does it work?
I mean, it is very intriguing because it does come across as very mechanical. It's not something you're very familiar with, for sure. Like, in general, a lot of mechanical things are intriguing, but that's also what Shakar was finding in the book was pretty much mechanical diagrams.
I still have the book. We should look for the Sphinx in it.
Was a sphinx? I want to say I looked at all the pictures over the hour, whatever that we were there. Did I find a picture of the sphinx?
No, not specifically.
I just want to.
You did shine like find there were some like mechanical toy diagrams of like marching toy soldiers and things like that throughout there, but nothing like on the level of the Sphinx that you saw.
That is unfortunate. Food.
So I guess we go to the tavern.
To the tavern.
To the tavern!
Four
Huzzah!
words.
Back at Guzzler's Tavern, once again, there is obviously the entire crew's there again, with a few other like possible Kenku that look like they look scholarly, so it looks like they may work at the library, or serve the library in some capacity, but kind of a few additional tables have been put together, and you do see Yalanue, Silvar, and his crew awaiting you, and spots available for you guys to sit down should you choose. But ultimately, as you sit, Silvar finally decides to speak up, and he explains that we would wish that, depending on where your journeys take you, though, me and my friends, something we didn't share with you previously, are refugees of Lusitania, and we cannot return. But should they have access to this city now, we wish to claim and rebuild it as our own. And you, having been the ones to free this region from the great power that prevented those from entering or whichever. Still don't know what happened, but we'd ask that you be ambassadors and possibly negotiate on our behalf should you visit Lusitania.
Who all is a refugee?
So there's Silvar, obviously. Technically, Tilgar would be
Til-
considered one at this point. But Silvar and his, I guess, 4 friends. There is Tassar, Ilthus, Narbeth, and Jorildin. They just call him Jor. Are those, and on a similar note, though, we would also request that as we rebuild, that as you encounter those who need a place to settle down and live, that you would send them here. And that thus introduces, should you accept, the little side game of you have a city that you can build. And
I have to say,
run.
this sounds a whole lot like a town management sim.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll have recruitment opportunities, hopefully, but should you choose to participate in them.
Will there be a sports team?
If you put it together.
Can I recruit players for my blitzball team?
Shokar's goal is to make Blitzball a thing in this world.
You're gonna need magic to make that work.
But obviously, as we grow in influence, as our ambassadors, that may give you access to much needed areas and people.
Do we get a
I like
badge
the
or
bit.
anything?
I like the sound of being important.
Yeah.
I'll do it.
Sounds much better than following the town seer or clan seer.
Well, we will put together our official declaration of independence.
And then we could steal it from them.
Alexander Hamilton. No.
And we will begin organizing with the library, and with the assistance of Guzzler, I believe we'll put together a city plan, and we look forward to working with you as we rebuild this once great city as we previously saw.
I need you to meet a condition. If that Sphinx talks or moves while you're in that library, you have to let me know. That's the only way.
It's the only way.
We for sure can.
Yeah.
It's a deal. I'll become important for that reason only.
Yeah. What should we tell people we're an ambassador for?
Parties.
Parties. Like, what are they gonna name it?
I don't know. Poppy's the smart one. Come on.
You're like, I don't like being pointed out.
Deer in the headlights. Like.
I suppose a name would be a great idea. Do you have anything in mind? We were almost just gonna go with New Lumeria. Lumeria.
Sure.
Maria 2.
Or make it fancy.
Electric Boogaloo.
We can make it
Lumeria
fancy and go
2.0.
Nouveau Lumeria.
Town formerly known as.
Town formerly known as. But as the saviors of the city, I mean, I suppose naming would be up to you.
New Lumeria City. NLC. The Big Funnel Cake.
The big funnel cake.
I'm down.
Okay.
It works.
NLC. The big funnel cake.
It's like New York, the Big Apples, the big funnel.
Right.
It just like has like twists and turns that like the roads just go in random directions. There's no pattern to the city at all. Every single direction is a million rights and 200 lefts.
I mean, it already is in shambles.
He's like from
Could.
above, it just looks like a funnel cake.
At this time, Guzzler approaches Vernon. And without speaking, next thing you know, he has out your book of maps.
Ooh.
So he
You wanna
pulls them
talk
out
about
like
maps together?
he's like so fast, and he pulls out one in particular, the one that you were trying to fill out. Kind of waves his hand over and kind of erases everything you had put there previously.
What a dick.
And then he pulls out a pen
Come on, man.
and fills it in for you accurately.
Yes, thanks, dude.
So now you have at least a accurate map of the
area.
the region. Um, and he also then points, he like everything else is pretty accurate. Your foster dad was a great cartographer, and everything is super accurate. And he points you in the direction of the capital city of Lusitania.
I think our friend wants us to go to Lusitania, guys. He seems to be pretty efficient with maps himself.
I'm down.
I'm ready to party.
I think that's what the plan was, yeah. Become rich and powerful. I mean important. Become important.
Help people. By
Yeah.
people, we mean us.
I'm people.
Guzzler then proceeds. He guides you out, but takes you into an area you haven't really looked at on the tavern property, to a kind of a stone dais. It is round in structure. It is overgrown with like moss and hasn't been utilized, but he mimes to you kind of to draw, and he points to the different glyphs within the dais.
I don't get it.
So he again, he
We'll ask
Just
Poppy to
mimics.
translate.
Does he want us to copy them down?
do you ask him that? Is that he just nods yes if you ask him, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I don't have
can copy
paper
them
and
down.
pens.
I mean, I've got my cartography gear, so I could probably just jolt it down.
All right. Performance check. This is just how accurately, in general, it's gonna.
5.
Not accurately.
I
Not
mean,
very well. I don't do it very well.
it doesn't look very good, but it will suffice. But with that, you are free to go. You have been directed, in a sense, or you have been provided a more complete map, so you know how to. So you can find your way out, and through the remaining region that has been previously unmarked. Are you guys all set to take off?
Good to go.
I'll get an orange mocha frappuccino for the road.
Okay. You are each provided to-go containers of your favorite beverage.
Great.
It's a road hito.
Road Hito. And so you begin to depart, kind of wandering around. You do see the remaining ruins of the city, with a sense of kind of familiarity. You do, like, with your knowledge of the city, Tilgar, as you wander, you begin to imagine or like remember like all the different city streets, and distinctly with your background, distinctly remember where you are. And as you pass, you do recognize where your former living space would have been.
I look at the rubbles and I'm like, well, it's an improvement.
But alas, you depart, and begin to see the region like outside the city for the first time. it has grown. You're seeing unfamiliar animals, and you hear barking off in the distance.
The Blinkies.
I'm gonna go towards the blinkies. Or the
I
barking.
hold my breath.
I want to go towards it.
But you find if you're following the barking, you do find the pack of blink dogs, having found a nice little area in the forest that they seem to be making their home. You see them just kind of teleporting amongst the trees and onto the stone outcroppings in the area, and just playfully playing.
They shall be the mascot of our new city.
My life is a nightmare.
It's the mascot of the sports team.
Yeah, the Blink Dogs. Perfect.
They could have like neon.
But as you approach that area, they do catch your scent and see you, and several of them instantly blink in front of you.
I want to.
Hello again.
Is one of them my friend?
Yes, you recognize them as
The
the
same
ones
one.
you fed.
Great. I'm gonna pet one
Okay.
and offer it a piece of jerky. So I pet him.
Can they eat?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not
I was
ghost
just,
dogs.
I'm just
They're
imagining.
blink
That's. I've been imagining ghost dogs. It just drops them. Like Zero from.
Tilgar's just kneeled down, crying into his own
Like
knees.
fetal position in the corner.
One of the blink dogs blinks like near you and licks you.
Oh. They just want to be friends, Tilgar.
The force of the lick knocks me over into the fetal position. However tender or and light it may have been. The sobbing continues.
But having interacted once again with the blink dogs, you begin to part with the one you initially befriended trying to follow.
Go away.
No, let's bring it with us. Blink dog buddy.
You'll have no friends, no one to talk to. Stay with your family.
Nonsense. He'll be my friend, even if he's not yours.
If there's danger, you could die. Please don't.
He shall be my buddy. And I shall call him buddy.
I shall call him buddy.
All right. Well, with that, would mean ultimately, if you are accepting him, Vernon, you have a blink dog companion.
Yeah. I take him.
And before we get too far out of town, I would also like to do something to like send a message to my clan. And like just let them know that I like fulfilled my duty. And I won't be back for a while. Got things to do.
How do you propose on doing that?
I don't know. I would like to find a way to do that.
We have messenger burbs.
Quill.
Quill is not a homing pigeon.
He's not a mailman.
Would there be a like, or that could even be something we could find in the next city or something like that. But it's something that I would like to somehow try to get word to them.
Messenger burbs.
You could send the blink dog.
And
I'm sure he'll
So-
get there in due haste.
So we'll go ahead and retcon this. You could have provided the information and where to locate your tribe to like Guzzler or someone
Okay.
who then could have found a way as they developed the city to relay that message.
Cool.
Through post.
Magic post.
I hope someone in your tribe can read.
I mean, they'll get
Probably
just-
the one in charge can. Nobody else.
The paper just has a big check mark on it.
and his hoof print.
Yeah.
I'm 100% okay with that.
That's funny.
Good enough.
Letters by Shokar.
Oh.
But you have officially taken off and departed. It takes you about a day to get to the boundary between Lusitania and Lumeria. The original boundary that you walked in and out of. Prior to fully entering Lumeria. But as you exit through the forest into the fielded area, you do see your previous camp. And anything left behind is pretty much gone.
That's fair.
And then, yeah, you begin making your way from where you are. So you are ultimately. Do we do this again? Do we try this again?
Back to the map.
Back to the map. Maybe.
Gotta believe.
Unmirror. Okay. Now shift so everyone can see. So you're here. It is on foot. It's probably going to take you about 2 weeks to navigate to the coastal region. Right about fingertips not showing. Right about here is where the capital city is of Lusitania. On the north bank of the river on the coast.
Okay.
Start clip-clopping our way over there.
Walking montage.
Who's got music?
And
No.
I would walk 500
miles. Is there anything specific you want to be doing while you travel?
Anytime there's a body of water, I just jump in for a bit and hop back out.
I mean, I'm probably just seeing everything new for the first time. So
Or if we follow the stream, I just swim next to you guys.
I climb trees and hang with my new bud.
You new being done.
My new bud.
And Shakar will just do some training whenever we stop. Not like drills, but just like boop things. The hammer.
I also provide the walking soundtrack with my flute and my lute.
You're that bard. I'm just
Yeah. I provide the soundtrack.
Toss a coin to your ambassadors.
So I mean, for the most part, your day for the next 2 weeks, everyone, I guess, with this being so we can fully just kind of determine pacing and time, roll athletic checks.
Athletics. That didn't really roll, and I landed funny.
9.
From the
It's my best
barbarian.
stat. It's my best stat.
So 9.
9.
14.
5.
3.
Wow. Good job,
So-
everyone.
So I'm the highest with
We're a
14.
pokey group.
Yeah,
I'm seeing everything for the first time. I don't know where I'm going.
Well, probably should have been probably about 2 weeks. It's a little slowed.
We arrived as
Just
senior
general
months
citizens.
exhaustion.
later.
You may not have been super prepared for such a long trek. ultimately. So you do have to spend a little more time actually like trying to find and harvest food throughout
So
the
guys
day.
take a lot of cat naps.
And but in the meantime, um, with her, Alana is just kind of enjoying herself. Yeah, as she mentioned, she's definitely put a lot more extra miles in just from like going out of her way to find streams. To jump in
Around 2
and
miles.
everything, and we'll be back up. And she's like, "Oh, here." And she
Every
easily just
time-
catches
it's
back
like
up to everyone.
caffeine. Swimming is like the caffeine. You're like, I'm refreshed.
And just constantly, easily catches back up, finding you guys. In the meantime, your evenings obviously set up camp. Nothing crazy really happens. I mean, you do see um, some wildlife here and there, but but it does take you ultimately about 2.5 weeks instead of 2. Takes you a few extra days to make up for some of your slower members. But eventually you do find, as you enter the primary region of the capital city of Lusitania, you do see that like the surrounding farming area seems to be struggling. It's not as you approach that coastal area, the flora of the area begins to thin out, almost blighted. Like there are still people out working, and there are farms, but you can definitely tell that their return on their effort is not as productive as needed to kind of maintain a nation or maintain even a city. But you make your way through, and you approach the great walled city of the royal capital. So you approach the outer wall is about 25 feet tall.
That's a big wall.
A big wall, big.
Big boy.
But and it is currently shut. The guards do. So as you approach the city, the guards ask, "Hey, papers and business."
We come in search of rocks.
There's plenty of rocks out here. You can find them out here.
Are these like royal guards?
They're
Or
just
just
kind
general,
of
like, border
general
guards?
guards.
Okay.
They're definitely not the royal.
I'll say we are ambassadors from New Lumeria City.
The big funnel cake, Shakar says from the back.
What? We're here on official business.
Well, I ain't ever heard of no New Lumeria City.
Because it's new.
Mic drop.
Yeah, well, we'll see about that.
Show him the map.
Map! See? It's right there. Used to be a hole, but it's filled in now.
Can't argue with that.
And you wanted paper, and that's on paper.
It's on paper too. I wrote it myself. Actually, I had a friend write it down. But
So you expect me to believe you from the Forbidden Forest?
We went into the
Yes.
trees and then came out of the
Well.
trees.
We're not from there, but we are currently coming from there.
I'm from there.
He's from
that guy over there is from there. But the rest of us are from other places.
Alana's like, I have a fish.
I'm trying to think. I have +5 persuasion. I wonder if I can like schmooze them into letting us in.
schmooze away.
I'm just okay. So can I do a persuasion check?
Well, what are you saying first?
I'm in this
Persuasive
Something
things.
believable.
something believable. Yeah.
We're just
Like,
so
we have-
unbelievable.
I don't know. What do you guys think? I'm just have persuasion. I don't know. I can't think of what to say or why why do we need to get in?
Official business. We would like to speak to those in charge.
About what?
About,
Like why did we
Diplomatic
come here in the first place?
relations.
yeah.
We're here. Oh yeah. It's
We're
like-
on a diplomatic mission from Alderaan.
We should show him the rock.
No, we are not showing the rock.
That's too dangerous.
You're with the Rebel Alliance and a traitor. Take her away. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. We say something to that effect. Like we're here on official, diplomatic mission. We need to speak with the royal family. Please.
Please.
Roll a persuasion check with disadvantage.
Oh, this is not going to go well. I got a 7 plus 5.
I gotta roll it again.
Oh. With advantage.
Disadvantage.
To a
Disadvantage.
natural 20!
So
There's
it'll be the 12.
Yeah.
Oh.
There's disadvantage.
Disadvantage.
But the second one was a 20.
The guard responds, you ain't look like no ambassadors from no country.
And
And
then,
we have enough going on currently and the city is closed to visitors. So
Well, you could open it. for-
y'all need to turn around and go back from whence you came.
And then it's at this point that I pull out a concealed object, show it to them, and they look persuaded by it, but nobody else knows what it is. They do. They recognize it though.
Okay.
Sneaky.
So immediately the guard,
It's like,
shocked,
will this change your mind? That's what I say.
apologizes. Sorry, ma'am. And he turns, open the gates.
You should start with that next time.
Whatever it is you just did.
The
Mwah.
large
It's not something I like to do all the time.
doors pull back and the city is open to you. As the party approaches, the guard catches back up and tells Alana, you'll find accommodations in section 3, just outside of the Capitol complex. I am sending one of my cohorts ahead to notify the regent of your arrival.
Thank you, kind sir.
That was very fancy. What'd you show them?
Maybe I'll tell you guys about it later.
Touche.
Gotta have a cliffhanger. Or added to whatever one he's got planned.
But now that we have found our way to the capital city of Lusitania, and Alana mysteriously having gained the party access to the city that has been closed off from visitors. We will call it there for the week. And
I'll
everyone.
text Chris details.
Like how I just knew, but
I figured we'd understand each other.
Yeah.
I just took a chance.
I gotcha. But with that, yes, hopefully everyone enjoyed this episode. Granted, no combat. Hopefully in the next few weeks, but we will see where they go with their first meeting next month, which is also going to be on a different day than normal, to be determined. But everyone, thank you for tuning in to Faithful Hedrons.